We now know the case has been handed over to the Rangers. Prior to that, this information led call to finding these three bodies.
So we were Texas Game Wardens received a call about 10 o'clock on Friday night, a report of 3 children missing, and so we gathered up our assets and went out to the last known location of them. We brought in one of our K9 units. That search led to a pond, which was about 200 yards away from the residence. And so there, close to that pond, we found a pair of tennis shoes right next to the water. And so we had the family members identify that was one of the little girl's tennis shoes that was missing. So that way we could focus our efforts closer to the water's edge or to the water. We actually found some footprints in the mud leading into the water. So that kind of narrowed our search down even more. And after that, we kind of brought in a dive team to help search efforts, underwater rescue or recovery. And about 1 or 2 o'clock on Saturday morning, we located all 3 victims. And so they've been all sent off to autopsy, and the investigation's been turned over to the Texas Rangers.
All right, I want to turn now to this.
And for several months, that has been what we have all known in regards to this case with these 3 sisters who were found dead in that pond right off of Highway 77, right outside Atlanta, Texas. Autopsy results have come back. These 3 young ladies were strangled to death. They also had very deep lacerations on their faces. We're talking about a 9-year-old, an 8-year-old, and a 5-year-old here, guys. All 3 found drowned and, found murdered in their neighbor's pond. Autopsy results have confirmed that all 3 of these young ladies were actually strangled before their bodies were dumped on that neighboring property. It was originally believed that, and I hope I say this right, Zi'Ariel Oliver, Amaya Hughes, so Zi'Ariel Robinson-Oliver, age 9, Amaya Hughes, age 8, Tamari Robinson-Oliver, age 5. It was originally believed that they had all 3 drowned after a dive team pulled their bodies from a pond on a neighboring property. This happened, guys, on July 22nd of 2022. But Cass County District Attorney Courtney Shelton said in a statement this past Thursday that these girls died by strangulation. They also suffered lacerations to their faces, saying that the investigation has been ongoing for the past 8 months. And Shelton says it will continue with her office as well as with the Texas Rangers and the Sheriff's Office, all asking anyone to come forward with information. Multiple witness statements have been obtained. DNA testing is ongoing and the investigation will continue. Now, of course, you all already know kind of what I'm wondering, right? And I'm going to say it. Was there any sort of sexual assault that occurred? And I think that is a lot of the DNA testing that is probably still ongoing. The district attorney did not make any mention of potential suspects or motive in the killings. Zi'Ariel, Amaya, and Tamari, all 3 went missing from their Atlanta, Texas home, which is about 200 miles east of Fort Worth, around 10 p.m. on July 22nd. This prompted a multi-agency search for these three girls. Family friend had been watching the trio and their other siblings while their mother was at work. Their mother, not sure how to say this name, but I'm thinking somewhere around Shamanique Oliver. She's age 28. She was at work. Guys, she has 6 kids total, okay? She has 6 kids. She lost she lost half of her children on July 22nd of last year. The babysitter called 911 to report these young girls' disappearance. Officials received reports that the girls were found in a pond near Highway 77 around 2 a.m. on July 23rd. There's a lot of mystery surrounding this, and we need more information. Police centered their search around the pond after a pair of shoes and other items of clothing were found scattered near and in the water. They located items of clothing around the pond and in the pond. Thus, they centered their work on that very small body of water, and with the use of divers, were able to recover all 3 victims at approximately 2 a.m. Video. There was some video. There's not a lot of video. There's not a lot on this case. I hope there will be other vloggers that'll pick this up and talk about it. But there was video from the scene that showed a bicycle that was abandoned on the property, very close to the pond. But it's not clear if that bike belonged to the girls and if they even rode it to that property. And why would they leave the sanctity of their home at 10 p.m. at night? Cass County Sheriff Larry Rowe told the Texarkana Gazette that he has no idea what the girls would have been doing there, saying that nobody has been accused of anything, but this is not an everyday occurrence, but it does happen. Shamanique told the Daily Mail at the time she was very heartbroken over the loss of her daughters and was not conducting interviews at the time. I'll show you a photo. This is their mother on Facebook saying, quote, "Through this whole process, I have my family helping me to get through this hard time with me and the loss of my sweet babies. Girls, real. But I know I have to be strong for the sake of my other 3 babies because they need me more than ever." In cases like this, we have to look at those closest to these 3 girls. It's just how it is. And everything from the babysitter, whoever the babysitter was dating at the time, right? Family members of that babysitter, whoever mom was dating at the time, everyone surrounding mom. Anyone who's ever touched that house. Anyone who's ever touched that house. And it sounds like to me a fire needs to be lit. Somebody needs to light some fire because this has been going July 22nd last year. Small town, I get it. But It needs to start at home. It really does, Lady Star. It needs to start at home. And I get it that, there's not every parent is going to want to talk to the news or talk to a vlogger about the death of their children. I completely understand that. I get it. The fact that these girls were found strangled, believe me, they had been in that body of water. For the autopsy to come back and say that, there probably was some bones in the neck, right? And again, why was their clothing found? Why was clothing found not on them? And again, we don't know that for a fact. We just know there was clothing found right there on the outside of that pond, and in the pond, there would have been no reason for clothing to be off of them. I'm going to be definitely over the weekend reaching out to some people, and man, I really hope that we get more information from authorities on this case. Only thing that, that's very scary for me is that this happened in a very rural place, and information is going to be very small. The fact they were found in a neighboring pond, right, in that neighboring pond. It just feels like it's somebody that knows this family. Somebody knows this family. Somebody knew there was a pond. Somebody knew there was a pond. Why dump their bodies in water? Well, some criminals think that if they dump their bodies in water, they can wash away any DNA. Why would they need to wash away DNA? What happened in that house? We have to start with the house. Guys, I hope to have more on this, but this is literally all there is on this case right now. Shout out to the LeakYou community. Please join us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Amazon Music.
Please hit the like. Thank you.
Again, we're talking about whoever this babysitter was dating, brothers, sisters, cousins, aunties, uncles, especially if there's any DNA found on these girls' bodies or inside these girls' bodies. Which I hope that them being put in the pond, I hope that no DNA was destroyed. But we know that they were strangled to death for sure. It was already suspicious that 3 young children, 5, 8, and 9, would even be found drowning in that very small body of water. And hold on a second, because there is a little bit more information I may be able to actually share with you. Hold on a second. GoFundMe started by the mother. Hold on. Okay, found it. All right, there is a GoFundMe that I'm loading right now. Just want to see what the verbiage is on it. Seems like my internet doesn't want to work right now. That is a photo. I'll show you a photo of the GoFundMe. So she says that they went missing around 8 p.m. See what I'm saying? The police report, the news report we were reading said 10. Mom says around 8 p.m. Their bodies were found side by side. Hold on. It's hard to read the rest of it. Let me bring it up on on a different device. Okay, so it's 3 Oliver baby girls. 3 Oliver baby girls. Okay, got it. All right. So she says, quote, "Hi." There it goes, finally. Here, I'll show it to you. She says, quote, "My name is Shamanique Oliver Wickerson. And on July 29th, 2022, my 3 kids, Zi'Ariel Robinson-Oliver and Amaya Hughes and Tamari Robinson-Oliver, went missing around 8 p.m. Their bodies was found side by side at around 2 a.m. July 30th in a pond. This was expected and a big hurt and a shock to myself and my family. We are now asking for help to lay my sweet angels to rest. Whatever you can donate will be appreciated. LaShonda Henderson, who is my best friend, is handling the fundraiser. Shamanique Wickerson is the recipient. All donations will go to her and her other children in the form of a check. The rest of the money will help her and her other 3 kids. Okay, so a little bit, but not much. This is heartbreaking. I'm so sick and tired of innocent people getting murdered for no fucking reason. And the fact that, all these thoughts about them drowning all this time. And now 8 months has passed, right? Are suspects even there anymore? Telling you. Was there a worker that came by the house the past week or two? A FedEx driver? Did you get any packages? Like all that sort of a thing you must go through. Anyone who ever touched that property. I appreciate all of you that came through. I'll catch you all on the rebound. Until next time, guys.
The judgment sentence that you are an asshole. The trial is over. Thank you, everybody.
Let's play a game. You have 10 seconds to take all your stuff and get out of my life. 10, 9, 8.
God bless you, motherfucker.
You're really smart. Like really, really, really smart like I am.